never could have guessed when we came up with this concept that we would still be doing it like 6 years later, but I'm glad, Brett, that we are. And I think it was your idea. At the very least, you did the intro. But anyway, to continue on this grand tradition, who's your garbage person of the week?
My garbage person of the week is Donald Trump, and it's for the clip I'm about to play you, which is one hell of a ride because it starts at like AI and ends with the Unabomber. Take a look.
And I have to brag just for a second, because when I first heard about AI, it's not my thing. Although my uncle was at MIT, one of the great professors, 51 years, whatever. He was the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, 3 degrees in nuclear, chemical, and math. That's a smart man. Kaczynski was one of his students. Do you know who Kaczynski was? There's very little difference between a madman and a genius. But Kaczynski, I said, what kind of a student was he, Uncle John, Dr. John Trump? He said, what kind of a student? And he said, seriously good. He said he'd go around correcting everybody, but it didn't work out too well for him. Didn't work out too well, but it's interesting in life. But I will say this, that
which is insane on many levels. And guess where this is going? You probably are aware. There's a lot that Donald Trump said that is crazy. You're used to that, and you can't really argue with crazy, but you can argue with the fact pattern. Would you be shocked to discover what I read in Mediaite, which is Kaczynski did not attend MIT. Also, the timeline doesn't work out. He says that, my great uncle or whatever, my uncle taught him and said he had him as a student. Well, Dr. Trump died in 1985 when the Unabomber's identity was very much unknown still. It wasn't until his manifesto was released in 1995 that even Kaczynski's family began to suspect that he might be responsible. So unless one of those MIT degrees was in teaching at Harvard or Michigan
and time
at
travel
a different time, or communicating telepathically in a way to know things no one else on the planet knows, Donald Trump's a damn liar. But the story goes on because this came up in the press room and the interaction is quite insane. If you want to watch someone try to dodge a question like Neo dodges bullets in The Matrix, I give you Karoline Leavitt.
He said that Dr. Trump taught Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski was not identified as the Unabomber until 1996. 11 years after John Trump passed away. It would have been impossible for John Trump to have ever discussed the Unabomber with the president. So what was he talking about? And I have one follow-up.
Andrew, with so many issues going on in the world, I'm a little bit surprised you would ask such a question, although I'm not sometimes coming from you, I will say, but I'm willing to give you an answer. Nevertheless, the president's uncle did in fact teach at MIT. He was a very intelligent professor. The president's very proud of his family. In fact, the president has a letter from his uncle on the MIT letterhead that sits in the Oval Office dining room. Maybe we'll let you see it sometime.
We're smug. We're elitists, guys. But that's the press secretary being like, oh, I'm so shocked to learn from you, you dumb moron. Followed up by, listen, Donald Trump's just a man of the people whose uncle was an MIT professor. And he's gone so far as to have letterhead from MIT where his uncle worked, framed in the White House. Which is it? Oh, so she didn't answer the question. Her answer to how could this be possible? Because the guy was dead at the wrong university when this dude said he was alive at a different university. Her answer is Donald has the framed piece of paper.
Yeah, no, that's all true. It's an obvious evasion, but my favorite part is it is in fact the case that he taught at MIT. That nobody was disputing that. That wasn't the thing that anyone was questioning. You just choose the one thing that was true in the wild story, let alone Think about that. Yeah, I'm shocked that with all that's going on, that you'd ask about that. I'm shocked that he'd bring it up with all that's going on. Why is it the crazy thing that a reporter's asking about it, not that the president is saying it?
And then I'm glad you put it that way, John, because this leads us to my next visual aid. She says, I can't believe this is something we're talking about that you would bring up here. Well, I have compiled a list of things that I too can't believe we're talking about and have to ask about. Let's take a look at it, shall we? A, if Uncle Smart, then Donald Smart. B, windmills cause cancer. C, electrocuting sharks he talked about. Sex in a porn star, deporting Rosie O'Donnell. Donald Trump at his rallies has repeated the terms Hannibal Lecter and great man. And need I remind you, because it always seems to come up at the weirdest possible time, Arnold Palmer's giant wiener. This is stuff that obviously we're gonna ask about. And this guy, if it was about anything, like, he's praying that we talk about stuff like this at this time. That is what Donald Trump wants more than anything, is a distraction from the, remember that list of binders full of 14-year-olds? Where is that, buddy? I assume she's like, please ask me more about the class schedule of the Unabomber. I'd rather talk about Donald Trump's connection to the Unabomber than Donald Trump's connection to the person that I'm praying no one asked for his connection to, Jeffrey Epstein. And it is weird that these guys always seem to get away with mentioning psychos. This is one of my favorite out of context clips from Tucker Carlson talking to Andrew Yang. Take a look.
Ted Kaczynski, I have to say, has written very convincingly on this, the Unabomber.
So random, brings it up.
I love that it's not just that, it's not that he wrote, I don't know, in an articulate way where he's just like saying, like, you can't dispute the quality of it. He said in a convincing way because he wants you to know that Ted Kaczynski changed his mind about something. Like, he used to have an opinion, but then the Unabomber made some good points. Thank you, Tucker Carlson. If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.